Have you been searching for hours for the perfect gift, but can't find anything to give your dad for Father's Day? Are you sick and tired of giving your dad the same boring gifts of cologne, watches, button-up t-shirts, and socks? Well, have I got the solution for you. Today, I'm going to be teaching how you too can make this delicious banana bread. This could all be yours for the price of watching this video. Call 1-800-BREAD. That's 1-800-BREAD. 1-800-BREAD. Today! So I'm starting this little series called Cook with Mayra. Because if you didn't know, your girl's a chef. So the reason I'm even doing this is because it's Father's Day tomorrow. And I was going to get my dad a vanilla mayonnaise Wonder Bread as gift. I was just going to get him a button-up shirt. But I decided that that was a lame-ass idea. So instead, I'm going to bake him some banana bread because he likes banana bread. Because I want some banana bread and I figured he'll share. And I think it's just a cute idea. No one's ever baked me anything. So, and if someone did, I would be all like, ooh. Okay, but anyway, step 1. You gotta put on your mandil. Isn't she cute? This is what my mom wears when she makes enchiladas. That doesn't matter though because enchiladas are fucking disgusting. Okay, so I have all the ingredients that we're gonna need. You're gonna want to use about 3 bowls. You're gonna want 1 for your dry ingredients, 1 for your wet ingredients, and 1 for your mashed bananas. Some almonds, that's obviously optional. Butter, salt, flour, you know, the whole deal. Okay, and then these are my 3 bananas that we're gonna be using. I put them in the oven for about 10 minutes at 350 degrees because they weren't ripe. So I'm just taking my 3 bananas and I'm just going to dump them into this bowl. Ay, que la chingada madre están bien pinche calientes. For all of this, you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And you want to line your bread loaf. I have a silicone one, but I still line it with parchment paper because I don't want it to stick. But if not, just butter your pan. Okay, so now I'm going to take my bananas and I'm going to smash them with a fork. But you could also use a potato smasher. You don't need them to be like pureed or anything. You just don't want any like big ass chunks, obviously. Here are my smashed bananas. Now we're going to mix together our wet ingredients. I'm going to take 2 cups of all-purpose flour and dump those in your mixing bowl. Then you're going to take a teaspoon of baking soda. You really don't want to add too much baking soda because if your fucking shit tastes like baking soda, shit is disgusting. So take your baking soda, dump it in your bowl. Now you're going to add half a teaspoon of, it says to use kosher salt. I'm just going to use sea salt because fuck it. Half a teaspoon of salt. Then you just want to take a spatula or a whisk, it doesn't really matter, and just kind of mix everything together. And then you're going to set this aside. And now we're going to use another bowl for our wet ingredients. So now you're going to want to take 1 stick of unsalted butter and you want to melt that hoe. I'm going to unwrap it and put it in my little thing. Just melt your butter. Now in this bowl, we're going to mix all of our wet ingredients, more or less. Okay, so here's your stick of melted butter. gonna pour that in here. 1 cup of granulated sugar. And now you're gonna take 1/4 cup of sour cream. You could also just use milk, but the sour cream gives it a little bit of a tang, and it makes the bread a lot more rich and moist. Teaspoon of vanilla extract. I don't even know if I have a teaspoon of vanilla extract because this shit is almost empty, but oh, I have just a little, just under a teaspoon. And then 1 egg. And then the egg yolk. Okay. And now we're going to take our smashed bananas and pour those in. And just stir everything together really, really well. Now you're going to take your dry ingredients and you just want to slowly add them. Add it in like batches of 3. You don't want to add in all the flour all at once, but you also don't want to over stir. So instead of using a whisk or a mixer, I really suggest using a spatula and just folding in the flour. But just add your 2nd round of flour. And then the last 1/3 of the flour. At this point, you could just go ahead and pour it into your baking container. But, or you could also put in your add-ins, like chocolate chips are really good in it, or some sort of nut like walnuts or hazelnuts. I'm going to be using unsalted and unroasted almonds, or excuse me, unsalted almonds. My mom bought these colorful ass knives. She said gay rights without even knowing it. Anyway, I'm just going to chop them up. If you don't want to chop them up, you can also put them in, it's not called a grinder. What is it called? A food processor. You can put them in a food processor, but sometimes I feel like that makes them a little bit too powdery. But then again, this makes them kind of powdery too, so. Okay. That's good, I'd say. So now I'm going to take my batter, or mix, I don't know, and just dump them in there. Just a couple handfuls. You want to save a little bit, mostly the most like powdery parts. You want to save those bits for the top so it makes a really nice like crunchy, nutty part on the top so that it looks really pretty. So now you're going to take whatever you're baking your stuff in. Again, you can use anything. This will make you one pretty good sized loaf. This recipe will. So you're just going to go ahead and pour it in there. At this point, you know, your batter really shouldn't be too runny. So just make sure you spread it out evenly inside of the baking sheet. Again, remember to either butter your baking sheet or put some parchment paper down. I've never buttered mine. I just like to put parchment paper and make sure that there's some hanging over the sides. That way when it's done baking, I can just pull it out from these little sides right here. So this right here is what your bread should be looking like. Nice and heavy. And then with whatever you have left of your almonds or whatever topping you put, I just suggest sprinkling some on the top so that it makes like a nice little crust. I really like to do this with the nuts, especially with the parts that get really, really powdery like this, because I think it makes a really nice crust on top of the bread. But Again, this is optional. So then you just want to set this in a 350-degree oven for about an hour, and then you want to let it cool for 10 minutes. When you're done, your bread should look a little something like this. She's cute. And you just want to let it cool for about 10 minutes so that you don't burn yourself, and then go ahead and give it to someone if that's what you were planning on doing, like me. So you can go ahead and give it to someone. Oh my god. If that's what you were planning on doing, like me, or eat it. It smells really good. I'm really tempted to just bite into it right now, but I'm not. Bye.